for Lay's. Welcome back, everybody. Well, they are dishes that truly do belong on a restaurant menu, but we have simplified them so we can make them in our own kitchen.
It's so simple that Charlene and I are going to put our culinary skills to the test. And if Chef Lionel here, the sous chef over at Public Apron's Cooking School, says that we can do it, anybody can do it.
We are the test.
Anybody can. I'm actually going to step off and let you guys just go ahead and take care of everything.
No, I don't think that's safe.
All right, so this is our honey balsamic autumn chicken. Very simple and very easy to do. Charlene, what I'm going to have you do first is you're going to take our balsamic vinegar right here, and you can just pour that right into the pan.
Okay.
Yep, you're going to pour it all in there. I like to measure things out,
Pan,
right?
on a hot pan.
All right,
okay.
in a very hot pan, and we're going to let this start to reduce down a little bit.
Okay.
As that's reducing down, we're going to go ahead and add some honey into that as well. I find the best honey comes from a bear, if you know what I mean, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this and give me about, just eyeball it, give me about a tablespoon of honey in there. I'll help you out. We'll both help you out. We're watching. I see she has been learning. That's good. That's perfect.
Was that about it? Okay.
That's perfect, all right?
Apron's Cooking School.
Only at the Public Apron's Cooking School. So we're going to do a culinary technique. It's called pushing, where we actually push and swirl the pan so we don't have to use a utensil. It means less dishes that I have to do later.
Did you learn that too?
Yeah.
The push and swirl, yes.
Push and swirl. Push and swirl.
Like the bend and snap? Okay.
And next we're going to take our Italian seasoning right here.
Okay.
This has a little bit of basil, has a little bit of oregano, a little bit of thyme, a little marjoram in it. We're going to toss that in as well.
Sprinkle around?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Push, swirl, and sprinkle.
There you go.
Make sure you get that on a bumper sticker. So we'll swirl that around, and we're going to let that reduce down. The recipe calls for you to reduce it by half.
Okay.
Or a quarter, however much you want it to be, but we just want it to be nice and thick. The finished product is right here, so when we're done, we can kind of drizzle that over top of the chicken. So with that being said, the chicken over here, I've seared it off. Oh, absolutely.
Is that what that's going to be?
That's what that's going to be.
Okay,
Yep.
just checking.
So over here with our chicken, we're going to go ahead and sear it off. She already said when we started, where it lays is where it stays. So we have it seared off. Let's go ahead and flip it over. So you can go ahead and flip them over on the other side.
Did you put a little oil in there?
I put a little bit of oil in the pan. We can put a little bit more if we need to. Pan looks a little dry, but like I said, we can put a little bit more in there if we want to. And that's a good idea because we're going to be putting our vegetables in there as well in just a few seconds. Before we do that, I'm going to talk about them a little bit. What I have right here is I have a little bit of Brussels sprouts and a little bit of butternut squash. These are in the bag, ready to go in the microwave. You just microwave them up, and they're ready to go. I mean, that's very, very simple. So we'll take those, and we'll toss those into the pan as well.
So you've softened them already in the microwave.
That's it. So all you have to do is put them into the pan and let them go.
So now we're flavoring them versus trying to actually cook them.
That's it.
Okay.
And,
So they're fully cooked.
They're fully cooked, ready to go. What we would do in a restaurant, and what we would call this, is we would blanch them beforehand. That way we could just put them in the pan, warm them up, and send them out to plate.
Roger that.
Next, we're going to go ahead and season up with a little bit of salt and pepper mixture right here. And then we're going to go ahead and take our pears. It is time of the season. Apple pears are going to start coming out. So we'll go ahead and we'll mix this up together. How's this looking so far?
It looks good.
I
I'm
mean,
wondering, it's not too much juice liquid for the chicken?
Oh, what's that? Too much juice from the veggies?
From the veggies and
you know, you could kind of think of it like a little extra sauce that's going to go over the top of it. If you wanted to be a little drier, you didn't need to really put in that oil that we put in. So, you know, it's just kind of like a way to keep it moist.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
I thought she was criticizing me at first.
No,
no,
she would never do that.
Well, I like this because there's a lot of vegetables. There's chicken. It's very simple.
Yeah, very simple.
Looks very healthy. Looks so far until you put any more else in it.
It's very eye appealing as well.
Yeah.
And you could serve this over a bunch of different things. You have squashes coming in now, maybe some spaghetti squash, some rice, some quinoa, some couscous. There's like a million things that you could serve this over.
The butternut squash is
as
great.
well. So as that's going right there, once the chicken is fully cooked, we're going to get that to 160 degrees, carries over to 165. We take our balsamic vinegar. I'm going to switch with you right now so Charlene can do a little bit of work over here.
Yeah,
we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a little bit of that balsamic vinegar.
No, I'm looking at the picture and it looks like it's...
Yeah, make sure it looks exactly like the picture.
But it looks like it's like...
Because you know, like
it's not looking like the picture.
You're doing your best. It's looking good. It probably took them 100 times to take that picture to finally get it to look just like that. But once that balsamic is over the top, I mean, that's really what we're looking for.
See,
right
they have
there.
it all like lined, fancy. And
Yeah,
mine just,
you definitely
mine
did
just
not.
looks like a
You know,
Sidney Pollock
No,
painting.
not at all.
Hit it.
Little wabi-sabi never
Some more?
hurt
Some
anybody.
more? Do I put some
You
more?
know, put a little bit more on if you want to. The world is your oyster.
Well, Brussels sprouts are good, but they're
great
always good with a little
they're
something,
great with
something on
balsamic
them.
vinegar,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you were saying a little bit of
butter?
wine earlier as well. Butter as well, a little heavy cream, a little Parmesan cheese. You know what? We could just have all that, throw the Brussels
just
sprouts in there, it'd be great. So now that the dish is done, it's very simple and very easy to do. The longest thing in here to get done is the chicken. And that's not
Okay.
going to really take any time as well. Oh, good push for you right
Thank
there.
you. Did you see
So
that?
let's go ahead
Jared
and let's
gave me a thumbs up.
let's break into our veggies and our spices and everything that we have up here. So I have a couple of gourds up here. I have a little bit of
What'd you
pumpkin. I
call
was
us?
just
A
waiting.
couple of gourds?
No,
What?
not at all. I have some sweet potatoes right here as well. These are absolutely one of my favorites. A really good thing to do with these, I had a chef show me this, leave the skin on. I know a lot of people take it off, wash them, cut them into spears, and just roast them off in a pan. They are phenomenal. Some other things that I brought some pumpkin spice little cheese spread that we sell at Publix. It's going on sale right now. And one of my favorites is maple syrup. This is kind of like the underdog. They're making a lot of beers this time of the year with maple in it as the sweetener. You could use this to sweeten anything. Instead of using the honey, if you wanted to use a little bit of maple syrup, you could absolutely do that as well. It's unrefined, so it's a little bit healthier for you on that aspect right there. The spices that I brought up here, yes, we have pumpkin spice. That's the general one that everybody always uses. But you have your lemon zest, you have your orange zest, you have some vanilla pods right there. There's just so many spices that you can use to cook with, and you can learn that all at Coming to the Cooking School.
Is that a pumpkin too?
So what this is, we would just consider this a gourd, and this is a butternut squash is over here, and this is just an acorn squash. And I said that I was going to show you guys one way. I'm going to tell you guys one way that you can cook all of them. What you do, split them in half, scoop out the seeds, little bit of salt and pepper and oil, 450-degree oven until they're tender. And that's it.
And the key being face down.
Yes,
in the pan.
face down so the
See, we remember.
Yeah, face down so the shell on the outside will protect it, and it will cook up very nice. And you know, if you have the spaghetti squash, you can shred it out.
Do you, and we have to go, do you have to put water in the pan when you put it?
You don't necessarily have to, I don't, because I know that roasting will bring out the natural sugars.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Chef Lionel, for your help. And, of course, thanks to Publix for sponsoring today's What's Cooking in the Publix Kitchen. A reminder that you can find the featured recipes on menu cards in every store like this, and also in this week's ad, as well as Publix.com. Okay, or she's still chewing. Or you can go to firstcoastnews.com, click on the features tab, scroll down the left side to the Publix recipes. While you're there, why not sign up for the newsletter? You'll get the featured recipe sent right to you each and every week.